I'll let you drive because this is quite the area we're in. I will give details and then I'll get your driving thoughts because I want you to talk in the video.
Wait, you want me to talk? He gave me like 2 seconds on the off-road to talk because, like, I don't know, like, I'm a girl, I don't have anything to say. Is that what that was?
No, I just brain farted there for a minute.
You just need to mansplain me? Is that what that is?
No. All right, so 24 Tacoma TRD Prerunner XtraCab 6-foot bed. We'll take and do an exterior walk around. We'll do an interior walk around, and we'll talk about driving on this as far as this version of it. We might do our own video on just this one, because this one's pretty interesting. Oh, hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, joined by the 5-foot world, Jill Cimillo, managing editor and aggressive driver. And so
no idea what he's talking about.
And I'm the mumbler who talks too fast. So that's what we got for you today. Let me go through some details while you're getting used to this Mulholland Drive where we're at. This is a 2.4 liter turbo engine, and I'll show you some details in this video or another video about that powertrain. There's some interesting changes to the engine. 8-speed automatic transmission. This is a 2-wheel drive. Remember, the XtraCab, the Prerunner XtraCab is only 2-wheel drive. It's not a 4-wheel drive option at this time. I know people have talked about it in the comments.
So talk about what the Prerunner is and what XtraCab is.
So Prerunner, the idea here is that you're just going to be kind of a desert racer. You don't need 4-wheel drive. You're not going to be rock crawling. You're not doing that kind of stuff. And then yeah, same idea. No back seat. There's some storage back there. There is some debate online about the XtraCab. It's basically like an extended cab, but the doors don't open, and you'll see that in the exterior. And there's discussion with Toyota that has talked about that's for safety crash testing. It's interesting that that's done that way because I've checked with different safety organizations. They don't have a test for that, but I imagine it's an internal Toyota safety test. Because remember, Toyota is a very conservative company, and they don't want ever to be sued for any sort of situation. So I imagine that's what they have going on with that. But that's what it is. So people have been asking me about this, like, can you just get this 4-wheel drive? Like, I want 4-wheel drive, just XtraCab, this kind of setup. The idea here is, no. The idea here is very specific customer base, very specific customer needs. And yeah, that's what that is. Okay, this is the Tacoma Prerunner in gunmetal gray, which is a pretty popular color these days. See, a lot of brands do this color. And so we have no air dam, which has been a hot topic of TRD Sport because of this gigantic air dam going down there.
And hey, look what I see up here.
Yeah, a tow hook. Which, by the way, Jill, somebody commented on the channel. I said, look, it has tow hooks, and somebody goes, well, nobody's towing with that sissy truck. Recovery points, people, recovery points.
So maybe you don't call them tow hooks.
I know,
maybe you call them recovery hooks.
Maybe I have to say a different word because boy, I read the comment, I was like, well, I'm not drunk. I don't know what this comment's saying, but yeah. So this is the new Tacoma. You may have seen some videos on it, but I wanted to get Jill's viewpoints on this because she just finished her Rebel Rally and knows a lot about off-roading. So I'm curious now when looking at this XtraCab. And let's open that door. I'm going to get your viewpoints on. Is this a Rebel? Is that a great option? Because the door doesn't open. There is no door here.
So I want to say a couple of things. If you are doing some serious off-roading, you need a place to put your recovery gear. Because you're probably going to get stuck, and you don't really want to put it in an open bed because it could rain, and then it gets, like things happen to the rope and your gear when it gets wet. So you want a dry place to put it, and the fact that you don't have, and I think there is like accessory like covers for the bed, but you want it in a very accessible place, and I don't think this is it. Like me, so I've already moved the seat back for Tim, but like I'm driving like this, and so you do have, wait, does this flip forward? You do have a nice amount of space back there to store stuff, but you don't have the easy access to get to it. And I'll be honest, like for Rebel, in our back seat, we actually put our clothing, the stuff that we didn't really want to get dirty, our food.
Right.
But we kept our recovery gear, our camping gear, all that kind of stuff in the truck bed with the cover closed, and it got really dirty, and thankfully it didn't rain. But as far as a Rebel vehicle is concerned, I would actually, like, if this isn't opening, that's going to be a problem. Because it's very difficult to get stuff in and out.
Yeah, it just really depends on your use case. I know that the passenger seat folds floor, and it folds flat, and I've talked to Sheldon Brown, the chief engineer, showing us off, and he can reach back in there, but you have to do a little reach, is what you have to do.
Yeah. And I will say I do like the fact that you have this lockable storage back here.
Right, right.
That you can open and then, you know, like hide and shut and lock. So I like that.
It's a very controversial thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just one of those things. One of the things I want to see if Jill can do is, I'm just curious. I just saw this button right there. So what does that button do?
Lumbar.
Oh, that's lumbar support. Okay.
Or, I say lumbar. Lumbar. Right. Somebody called me out on a video that I did the other day, and they're like, "Why do you call it lumbar? Is that an American thing?"
Whoops.
Lumbar.
Lumbar. Another thing we're talking about, this is pre-production. Those have some grading here.
Yeah.
It takes a little to get the etching done, so they just didn't do it for at this point. So let's finish walking around. I want to get the passenger side as well. We have the new chassis, which again I'll show you the video of that. And then
I want to point this out because this looks really weird to me.
Yeah.
Is that pre-production or is it supposed to be like that?
No, it's done that way. Yeah.
That looks like a mistake to me.
That's my complaint with this, and the Tundra's same issue, is that the complaint I have is when you. Like,
this one doesn't have the power.
Is when you drop the tailgate. Luckily, this one's short enough you can hop in.
Right.
But a lot of times you want to put your foot here and grab hold of this and hop in without dropping the tailgate. I do that all the time.
Not everybody is as flexible as I am and can.
Right.
Do that. Not everybody can do that.
No, I mean, so one of the things that I point out is if you're hauling mulch or you're hauling, say, pebble rock, stuff like that, it falls in a crevice. And so, I mean, I want to be able to hop in and scoop my load out or do something with my load without having to have everything go in a crevice and dropping it all the way out. So I don't know. It's another interesting thing that they have done. Sequoia's done that way. Tundra's done that way. I bet you even the Land Cruiser's done that way.
I mean, it looks like a mistake. It looks like somebody hit something. And this is, you know, falling off. When we were on the off-road course, I noticed it on the TRD Pro we were driving, and it looked like somebody had bashed something on the off-road course, and that was like it needed to be fixed.
Yeah, I mean,
like a mistake to me.
It does move a little bit, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. This bed is the same composite bed they've used in the past. Fun fact of the bed, it actually slopes a little bit here. You can see a little slope, and that's because when they put it in the molding machine, they have to have the slope to be able to pull it out of the molding machine.
And you said this is the 6-foot bed.
6-foot bed. Another thing that's nice about the sloping is all your dirt and debris goes, and ice stuff doesn't build up, it goes there. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, I can't even, like.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically, here, just stay there for a second. Here. There you go. So that's.
So like on my tippy toes, I can go from my tippy toes to my hands to touch the end of the bed.
Right, and so Jill is 5 foot tall, and now she's standing out. So I imagine you're probably 5'8" there. I don't know how many inches you got, but they call it 6-foot bed.
Yeah. All right.
And so what else is back here? So we have we have Tacoma stamped here, and then my issue with the Tundra I had with the same thing Tacoma has, it gets pretty slippery in the wintertime.
Yeah, I noticed actually. Like,
yeah. So this isn't done yet. This. I think this will have some etching done to it, but that's what you got. It does get a little slippery. I've seen a lot of guys add a bed mat on there, like a rubber bed mat, just to keep stuff from slipping around. Yeah. But yeah, interesting point on that. And so we'll come around, and then I want to show you the this. I'll bring Vanna White over here again. So Vanna, let's see if we can fold that flat. That front. See that? So it folds. Yeah. See that lever there? Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. So this is why you have storage, like a working area here. You have some bolt stuff. So the idea is do it yourself. You can add different pieces to this. You can bolt on different things. I guess that does come out, I think. Then you can reach in here and access stuff, as long as you're not
4 feet tall, 4 feet 11, 5 feet tall.
I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, I would be like this.
Right, you'd have to hop in, and so you could access that.
I can almost stand up in the truck.
Right. So I mean, it's possible. It just depends on if you're long-armed or how your body's set up, but. You could, and if you have stuff back there, you're not going to access very often too. Like you said, recovery gear. Yeah. Throw it back there, and when you need to, you have to get back to it. Yeah. So that's going in there.
You know, something else I want to point out, and I was talking to one of the product experts. If you look at this right here, you see like kind of some bumpy paint. Yeah. And I was looking at it, and I was just like, I kept going like this, and he finally came up to me, and he's like, "What do you?" And I was just like, "Is that on purpose?"
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, because then it's like a protective coating so that when you're off-roading, you know, the rocks and stuff won't ding it. And it feels like it feels kind of waxy.
Right, we're talking about right in here.
Yeah, but it looked kind of funny. And I know we're driving pre-production vehicles right now, and the finishing touches aren't 100%
right.
there. So I was just like, is that one of those things, or is that on purpose?
Yeah, I've seen different brands do that. It hides a lot of marks, hides a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And just, you know, you don't see the damage as much as far as hitting stuff. Let's talk real fast, because I guess not real fast, but we have the smaller screen in here.
Yes.
So I'm showing off the smaller screen right now on the camera. Everything else looks about the same. You know, different. This dial's a little bit different than you do the TRD off-road. So you have less. We don't have crowd control in here, but the smaller screen. I do like we have the USB hook up here, so you can actually run a GoPro here or a GPS map thing there.
And you can set your phone in here.
You can set your phone in there,
and then you can charge it there. I like that a lot.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a timeout and stop this video for just a second and go over some key details on this Tacoma TRD Prerunner. So the biggest key detail is going to be the price. This is going to start right around $31,000. Probably have destination fee on top of that, say $32,500. The build and price tool is not set up at this moment as timing of this video, so you can't go build it on Toyota's website if you got no total pricing. What this is, though, is this is the cheapest version of Tacoma that they can actually build in today's market, in today's world. So as talking to Sheldon Brown about this, and what you have going on is you have mandatory backup cameras, mandatory automatic emergency braking, pedestrian alerts. You have the blind spot monitoring that Toyota has made mandatory. So you have the government making mandatory safety equipment. Plus you have Toyota has made things mandatory throughout the lineup to not have people picking and choosing different safety equipment they're going to get. So you have that built on. You also have mandatory technology inside the cabin. It's just there's nobody's building little AM/FM radios anymore. It's not happening for trucks like this. And you're gonna have power windows, power locks, because nobody's buying manual windows and manual locks. It's just not happening anymore. And so when you come down to it, and you look at emissions equipment, you have the turbocharged engines that have better performance, but they are expensive to put out there. So you're gonna have a situation where $31,000 is gonna be the lowest price you can get. Now you also have fuel economy. I have some numbers as well. We have automatic transmission. Again, the Prerunner does not come in manual transmission. Automatic transmission only. 20 city, 24 highway, 22 combined. I'm looking at a sheet of paper over here on another screen on fuel economy. Now, this is a first drive program, so it's kind of, frankly, it's absurd to report fuel economy numbers first drive programs. I really try to avoid it because you're driving in road conditions that are not set up for yourself. As far as you're not driving in a normal area, you're driving faster than you think, you're not following speed limits, you're gunning it, you're trying to figure out the performance, and you're driving at a really short period of time. So those who are putting out fuel economy numbers, I just don't agree with it, because it's, again, very short window time. We need to do real 100-mile testing to figure out the true fuel economy numbers. But remember, these fuel economy numbers are manufacturers' EPA estimated. So the manufacturer verifies them on their end, since it's EPA takes one vehicle and tests it as far as fuel economy. So this is the official numbers that we have as of today on this 2024 Toyota Tacoma Prerunner. Let's head back to the video for a few more details.
Another fun fact that people don't always know is this is...
I'm like another Toyota Tacoma with no back seat right there.
Right. This is overall length is 213 inches, which I've talked a lot about on this channel. People want to do a little bit more room here, a little bit longer bed here, whatever. But 213 inches is a little bit over 17 and a half feet. And the average U.S. garage is 18 foot long. So you can fit this in your garage.
So you can just barely fit it in the garage.
Right. So the idea here is you have to do your Chicago test. But the idea here is you can have this in a city and park it in the garage, which, like, number one or number two buying reasons of mid-sized trucks is parking in the garage. Oh yeah, 100%. It's huge. So if you make this, if I made this 18 foot long and gave people extra foot here in this bed or whatever in the space, would not fit in the garage, and you lose a lot of customers. Yeah. So that's a big deal there. Rear suspension. Oh, these are good. Torque numbers, 317 foot-pounds of torque at just 1,700 RPM. Your thoughts on that? Did you feel turbo lag? Do you feel like it's...
No, I haven't felt turbo lag on this yet. Like, my complaints are not with the engine at all.
Right, and it was plenty of horsepower. Yeah. Yeah, excuse me, plenty of torque at that power, I should say, off the line. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when you drive this. I would call the last generation V6. I enjoyed it when it first launched, but over time it just didn't feel as powerful because other vehicles and other SUVs came up with more of these powertrains, and so it felt like it was actually becoming sluggish and slower. And this one definitely is a game changer as far as overall performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some good pep here.
Yeah, I don't know the prior generation could have done what you just did.
Well, and
without downshifting.
And what I was doing right there is I was going about 55 miles an hour. I hit the acceleration and went up to about 70 miles an hour. And it didn't lag, it didn't stutter, it didn't, I didn't have a problem with the acceleration. And I, as the aggressive Chicago driver that I am, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and a lot of people talk about the horsepower, horsepower is 278 horsepower, and they're like, I just want more horsepower. No. You want torque.
Yeah, you want torque. It's not about the horsepower.
Torque is really good. Yeah, torque in a truck is really important.
Yeah.
Fuel economy, estimated fuel economy is 20, 24, 22. That's city, highway, and combined. And I feel like that's a pretty decent number.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think a lot of people want the old school mid-size trucks that were cheap, really fuel efficient, and you bought the full-size truck with V8 and it's gas guzzler.
Right.
But in these cases, with these powertrains changing, it's not the same. I mean, mid-size trucks are getting better fuel economy, but not like, oh my God, much better than a full-size truck. It's just not the case. I talked about overall height, overall length, height and width. 77 overall width, 74.6 overall height. There's some good approach angle, departure angle, and breakover. So approach is 34.4 degrees, departure 24.6 degrees, and breakover angle 25.5 degrees. And I'm pointing as looking. So approach, breakover, and departure. Okay, let's wrap this up. I ended up going through all this numbers and stuff that you can find online at pickuptrucktalk.com or toyota.com. The final gist of things is that Jill didn't like the manual seats because she couldn't quite get the seating position she wanted. And we talked to Chief Engineer Sheldon Brown about that. And he said the problem might be the mechanism, the way the mechanism works. It can't get it high enough because you have to extend it and lower it. It's a mechanical issue. And she also didn't like the manual transmission when she first drove it because it slipped a little bit, couldn't quite get her foot in the right spot for the clutch release point. Just takes a while to get used to, but the automatic seats or the powered seats were much, much better than that. For me, that was perfect. I thought it was good for that type of specific customer use case and for that customer looking for that. And at $30,000 price point, it's going to turn some heads here with that number. I mean, it's going to be pretty impressive. So that's kind of the details we have on that. I have a full other series of videos on Tacoma. I'll have more coming on that truck as well as we do more videos throughout the next year as we get press loans, drive the hybrid version in the spring. Lots of stuff coming out. So make sure you follow along. Check us out on the web, pickuptrucktalk.com. Check out the videos over here as well. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.